Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things ready through a common sense lens. And obviously we know the trade magazines don't generally put something out without it coming directly from the studio, right? Whether it be the budgets, whether it be like inside leaks, whether it be particular confirmations of casting and stuff like that. That's where a lot of the trade magazines get a lot of their information is from studios themselves, right? Whether officially or unofficially, we know that studios put a lot of different things out there. Well, one of the things that Variety pointed out the other day was that one of Disney's very own Snow White producers had to personally fly directly to New York to try to talk Rachel Zegler into deleting a post that she put on one of the social media promotions that she is paid for about Disney's live action Snow White, which obviously turned into a disastrous dumpster fire at the box office. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's always nice to hear that stuff actually get confirmed, and the best part about it is this is an absolutely epic takedown and an epic pushback because some little person on Instagram thought they were so smart and go, ooh, we're going to trap you. Do you think this is appropriate? Do you think this is fabulous? And guess what? The Snow White producer's son was not taking any prisoners. He absolutely blasts Rachel Zegler in this statement, and it is a beautiful thing. And who knows? Maybe it's even a shift in the tide of Hollywood, but I would say if nothing else, Rachel Zegler's career is basically over in Hollywood, at least for right now, because this has turned into a disastrous dumpster fire, and the Disney Snow White's producer's own son had to come out, confirm everything, and absolutely blast Rachel Zegler into oblivion. So we're going to check out this article from thatparkplace.com, getting all of the juicy details of exactly what he said. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing. We just crossed 1,700. We're on our way to 1,800, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Let me know what you think about this. Is it nice and refreshing to hear from somebody inside of the Hollywood ecosphere actually calling all of this kind of nonsense out and pushing back against a lot of the kind of activist crowd out there that would try to make Rachel Zegler out to be some kind of hero? Or does this actually just line up in the whole idea of the fact that Disney is completely and totally throwing her under the bus and are going to take no responsibility for this movie's failure and blame it all on her? Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. If you'd like to support the channel, please check out the links in the description as well. All right, from thatparkplace.com and our dear sweet Montanero. Snow White producer's son confirms Rachel Zegler controversy, accuses Zegler of narcissism in epic social media takedown. Boy, doesn't that sound like he's singing the same tune of every other common sense person out there who's been reporting all this kind of stuff. Narcissism and ego has run rampant and destroyed pretty much everything in Hollywood because they think they're smarter, better, and faster than anyone that has ever came before. They think they can be like the Most High, and just like Lucifer before them, pride comes before the fall, and Zegler is falling quite hard at this point, boys and girls. The Rachel Zegler controversy just hit a new level, and this time it's not an anonymous studio source speaking up. It's Jonah Platt, son of longtime Hollywood producer Mark Platt of Disney, publicly confirming that his father personally flew to New York to confront Zegler over now infamous Free Palestine post and defending the decision with brutal honesty, and it is a beautiful thing. This confirmation arrives on the heels of a major Variety report detailing internal chaos Zegler allegedly caused during the promotion of Disney's Snow White. The article claimed that the young star ignored direct requests from Disney executives to remove the political messages and that her refusal led to serious security threats against co-star Gal Gadot, requiring private protection for the Israeli actress and her children paid for by Disney, boys and girls. So not only did the hundreds of millions of dollars they spent on the movie turn into a giant loss for them, but they also had to spend extra money to protect Gal Gadot and her family because of Rachel Zegler's own stupid mouth and injecting politics into what should be a promotion for a movie, right? That's not what it's for. It's like the whole Ricky Gervais thing about all the Hollywood actresses and all that kind of stuff at the Oscars and all the rest of that stuff. You know, thank your God, thank your agent, and off. Like, that's literally all we want you to do. Shut up and color. You are our dancing clowns. You are there for our entertainment. We are the only reason you exist and have the job you do is because of the audience, the fans, and the customers. Shut up and dance, clown! And clearly, Rachel Zegler's definitely proved that she is absolutely a clown. Now, Jonah Platt, in a no hards barred Instagram reply, has confirmed the incident and laid out just how disruptive Zegler's actions were to the film's success and to the livelihoods of the people involved. The exchange that set the internet ablaze. So this is right here, straight from his own Instagram out there. Whoever this person is, Brind13, your dad flew to NYC to reprimand a young actress. Any words on this? Cause that's creepy as hell and uncalled for. People have the right to free speech. No? Shame on your father. Oh, and this is epic. From Jonah himself. You really want to do this? Yeah. My dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, $350 million at least in production costs, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee. That's what these little activist cult members out there seem to forget. You are an employee. You have bosses that are supposed to tell you what to do, and you're supposed to listen to them. When you don't, there's consequences to those actions. In most cases out there in the real world, unlike Hollywood, you flat out get fired. But it was a little too late for that. And so, of course, what did they do? They literally hired a personal PR manager for Zegler herself and stuck it on her to where every time she posted, everything she did out there on social media had to be reviewed by that person first. And you've seen these kind of handlers before. If you've watched any of the Hollywood Reporter, Hollywood red carpet kind of stuff, you'll literally see people that as soon as a reporter asks a question and that actor or actress starts to open their mouth and say too much, you literally, it's like literally the hook you used to see on the old comedy skits, right, where they'd pull you off the stage, except it's literally an actual person looking like they're about to tackle somebody on the red carpet and go, no, we're done here, excuse us, we're done here, excuse us. That's literally what they had to hire. So even more expenses on top of the $350 million bloated budget for this movie anyway. So, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie, which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for. Boy, wouldn't it be nice to make multi-millions of dollars just to stand around in a dress for 12 hours? I mean, isn't that what you said you did, Rachel Zegler? Pretty sure that's what you were complaining about, and you got millions of dollars for this. More money than most people in your audiences will ever see in their lifetime, let alone have collectively dumped in their lap all at once. You entitled, narcissistic little twat waffle. Ah, Rachel Zegler. Ah. This is called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Yeah, you think? Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Remember, that's the big issue with this. She, after putting a post on her Instagram promoting Snow White, which is what she's paid to do because of her contract, then she decided to use that and put Free Palestine below it, which once again, indeed, got more views than the actual post. So it overshadowed what she got paid to do, plus called all of this controversy, which, hey, guess what? When you interject politics and your personal agenda into good old storytelling, you fail at both. And trust me, the audiences are done with this. The idea of all of you just being able to get away with this and say whatever you want and people actually still go and pay you money, no. Those days are over, boys and girls. Those days are over. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desire at the risk of all the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Yes, and we already know about putting Gal Gadot in danger and all of her family as well. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged. Amen, brother! And that's one of the biggest problems we've seen come out of Hollywood. And it's not just Hollywood, right? It's the spirit of the age that has affected every single one of our cultural institutions. It doesn't matter if it's your systems of government. It doesn't matter if it's your NGOs. It doesn't matter if it's your video games. It doesn't matter if it's your Hollywood, your movies and your television shows, right? This spirit of the age, this narcissism that everything's all about you and your ego, and the only thing that matters is what you do in your life to make you happy and screw everybody else. That insane spirit of the age has infected so many of these people out there, and it has literally cost just Hollywood tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions of dollars. And especially when you add in marketing and merch and everything else, it has cost Hollywood, just Hollywood alone, hundreds of billions of dollars. Not to mention the gaming industry, not to mention the board game industry, the tabletop RPG industry. Like, this has cost all of them billions of dollars. And indeed, you do eventually run out of other people's money. And guess what, Rachel Zegler? You're officially going to run out of all that Disney money because you done, homegirl. You are absolutely done. The Rachel Zegler controversy has been a growing issue for Disney since long before Snow White hit theaters. From her early dismissals of the 1937 animated classic, which, by the way, saved the Walt Disney Company from bankruptcy, to her frequent political posts, Zegler has consistently found herself at the center of online firestorms. But her Free Palestine post, added to a promotional thread for Snow White, was the breaking point. As Variety reported, Zegler's refusal to remove the post created major backlash that extended well beyond social media. Godot and her children received threats. The studio was forced to intervene, and now we know for sure Mark Platt took the extraordinary step of confronting her in person. He couldn't get this done over the phone. He couldn't get this done through her agents. He couldn't get this done through an email. He had to personally fly there, spend even more money on top of this just to look her in the face and go, knock this off. And still, guess what? She still told her boss to go screw himself. Let me know how well that would work out at your job, boys and girls. Jonah's confirmation doesn't just validate the Variety report, it drives home how seriously the situation was taken behind the scenes. This isn't just about Zegler anymore. The Rachel Zegler controversy has become a lightning rod for how Hollywood manages politically outspoken talent, especially when those stars are the face of family films with 9-figure budgets. The fact that this rebuke came from Jonah Platt, who has every reason to protect his family's interest and reputation, speaks volumes. This wasn't a clumsy corporate statement. It was a candid, emotional response that echoed the frustrations of many behind the scenes. And as it raises a bigger question about Disney's judgment. If Zegler was this disruptive before release, why was she kept at the forefront of the campaign? Why was she never held accountable until after the film's disappointing box office results? Because the majority of Hollywood agrees with her opinions. They don't have a problem with her saying it. They have a problem with the other half of the country that has a problem with her saying this kind of stuff and all of the backlash that it comes with it. Jonah Platt's remarks underscore what many fans and industry professionals have suspected. This wasn't just a publicity hiccup, it was a preventable disaster, and now it's out in the open. And absolutely, Disney's going to throw her under the bus. Hollywood's going to blame her for this, even though they don't want to, because they agree with her politics. They agree with everything she said. They don't have any problem whatsoever with what she actually said. What they have a problem with is the fans' reactions. And now, because Disney and Hollywood are great about passing the blame and wanting to put it off on somebody else, God forbid Disney, who's responsible for the horrific CGI dwarfs, for all of the bad storytelling, for all of the horrendous songs, and of course for casting Rachel Zegler herself. No. They don't want to take the blame. It's not their fault. They're going to tell all of their investors that it's her fault, that it's Rachel Zegler's fault that all of this happened. Look at what she did. She divided the country. She divided the audience. She pushed back against all these people, and she put other people in danger. All this Variety article was a hit piece on Rachel Zegler, so that way Disney can pass the buck onto her and not take the blame themselves. Look, this is what happens. Disney decided to dance with the devil, and now they've gotten burned because Rachel Zegler is absolutely possessed by the spirit of the age, and the worst part is the majority of Hollywood agrees with her, and unfortunately now they're calling it out, and now they're just using her as a scapegoat. But shout out to Platt for calling her out, pushing back, and telling the absolute truth about Rachel Zegler, the narcissistic psychopath she absolutely is, who completely and totally destroyed any chance of Snow White making any money at the box office, and now ruined the lives, careers, and potential job opportunities for even more people out there. Good job, Rachel Zegler. You didn't just screw over yourself, you also screwed over a whole bunch of other people.